What's up, traders? This is Vee Trades, and today I will be doing a technical analysis breakdown for Palantir Technologies with the ticker symbol PLTR. I will first be going over what I see on the daily chart and finish the video off with the weekly chart. This video is for entertainment purposes only. Please trade at your own risk. So this was the most liked comment on my last video on MicroStrategy. So that means I have to do it for the viewers. If this is what you guys want, then I will deliver what you guys want. So let's take a look at the daily chart for Palantir, and I can see why you guys want to see it analyzed. It's in a very strong uptrend, and I was pretty shocked when I opened it up because I haven't looked at this stock for quite a while now. Basically, I used to look at this, looks like sometime in April or May of 2023. So I'm surprised that, it broke out into a very strong uptrend. Nonetheless, let's go over the chart and go over what's going on and where it's headed and what can happen. So this is the log chart because of this very large move up higher. If I just use the regular chart, it looks like kind of like a bubble, but it's better to look at on the log scale because of this exponential increase, right? It went up basically hundreds of percentage points thus far. So let's go over the first thing that you can do is draw some sort of channel for this trend. So you can connect the swing lows, maybe try to get it to fit, something like that. There is some failed breakouts on the bottom. You drag it up to the highs. Is that the channel right here? Maybe something like that. That's probably the best fitting channel. It's not really fitting that good, so maybe it's more of a trend line, right? We can just use trend lines instead. So it looks like the bulls were moving at this sort of angle right over here, and then the trend got steeper. So you see the trend got steeper and steeper, and now it looks like it's even in a steeper angle. So I would just play the trend lines, right? There's even like a more shorter term one as well, maybe something like that. Either way, the trend is getting steeper and steeper. Eventually, this first one will probably see a break leading to the second one or pull back to the second one. And as long as price is still above that one, I think that's a good sign. If it comes back to this one right here, then that's a pretty deep pullback, which can also occur. So overall, these are the trend lines to keep an eye on. I would say this one right over here, and then this one right here, the steeper one. Price did break its prior all-time high back here in January of 2021. So let's go and mark that, right? Why am I analyzing previous price history? Well, because it's very important, right? If this was the prior all-time high, a lot of times that's a critical point, right? Because it's the obvious level. Just like how this is the all-time low, that's going to be a critical level if price does ever come back down there. So this is the all-time high. The prior one, we did make a new one, obviously, but this is still critical because it's still relative, right? We go over price action that's relative to the chart. So I'm not going to go back to, May of 2023 and analyze the price action over here because it's not really related to what's going on right now. So you see that price did break out the all-time high, tested for support 2 times, led to a strong rally higher. When bears failed to get back up below the level, bulls took that as a chance to drive up the price and stop them out. So overall, trend looks pretty good. It's definitely entering some sort of mature state at the angle it's moving on and how close it's to its measure move target. This looks like all one large leg right over here. And this was the second leg up. And you can see that the target is very close, somewhere right around the low $90 level. Low to mid $90 level is what I'm saying is when we could see some sort of larger pullback. Obviously, we have been seeing micro pullbacks like for one day or a couple of days. As you can see here on the chart, these red candles represent a pullback in the market or a consolidation, but it's very minor, right? This is a very strong move up higher. So let's keep an eye on this very sharp trend line right here. If price starts breaking this one, there's a good chance it will pull back further towards the second trend line. And if that one doesn't hold, then you look for the third trend line. So we'll see what happens. But overall, this is a very strong trend up until the measure move target at the low 90s to the mid 90s. We're probably going to be experiencing very small pullbacks. So it's a aggressive trade to enter right now because you're basically buying the highest price that the stock has ever been in a almost a near parabolic uptrend. So it's getting there's some red flags on the chart being thrown, right? So it'd be better to wait for a deeper pullback, especially this late in the trend. You'd want something deeper Maybe back all the way towards the $40 level. I mean, I'm not sure if it'll get down that low. Just depends on how strong the bearish momentum is, right? But overall, the trend is very strong still. Small pullbacks are occurring, and that's another inclination that the trend is strong. And again, I'm looking for the $93 measure move target because there's no chart patterns on the left side, right? This is uncharted territory. So you have to use what happened in the past to predict what can happen in the future, right? We don't have a um, reference point on the left side of the chart. So the measurement target extrapolates the distance that can occur on the next impulse, and that's targeting right around the low to mid 90s. So I'm expecting some sort of reaction at that level. Now let's take a look at the weekly chart. And since that's going to be the second large leg, there's a good chance we see a bigger pullback, right? Small measure moves targets lead to small pullbacks. Big measure move targets will lead to big pullbacks, right? So I'm expecting a decent sized pullback off of that level. So don't be surprised to see some good selling or a good amount of consolidation happen at this low to mid $90 level. Sometimes we overshoot the targets, sometimes we come up short, but that's more of like a 10% thing. Like I would say majority of the time, 75 to 80% of the time, you're going to see what you expect to occur, which is price reaching the target and then seeing a rejection off of that target. So that's the daily chart. Here's a look at the weekly chart. Overall, same thing. Let's go and move the drawings to give it a better look at it. This is the entire price history since it came on the market, dating back to September of 2020. We exceeded the 2020 and 2021 highs. So that means this is a very strong amount of buying because this was back when the stimulus was injected into the market. All that liquidity had to go somewhere. It came into stocks. And then eventually the liquidity was drained out. Price started to stabilize right around this $8, $9 level. And then it suddenly broke out for whatever reason. You could always find a fundamental reason why, but technically it did break out, led to a strong rally because the price cannot come back to that breakout point, and then price continued to make higher highs, higher lows, trailing against this 21 bar EMA. So we're getting a little bit overextended from the EMA. We're probably going to continue at this pace to reach that low to mid $90 level. So that's one leg right here. This is the second leg. And then that's when we could probably see some sort of correction take place. So I'm expecting $90 to $100 for this impulse to come to an end. So we'll see if that happens. But that's how I'm looking at Palantir on the daily, weekly charts. Like I said before, I don't really see a channel I can use. If it is, I mean, we already kind of pushed through it. So it's not really a channel. Maybe off of this right here, you could draw some sort of channel. But overall, it's mostly just the trend lines just getting steeper and steeper. And this momentum most likely will lead to some sort of blow off top, right? Because it's just getting stronger and stronger. So that's all I'm saying for Palantir on the daily weekly charts. And this Vee Trades, and thank you for your time.